All right. Please stand up. Start tuning into your breathing, feeling your rib cage expanding out to the sides. Full breath in. East-west breathing to start, and then pay attention to breathing the breath more into the back of your body. Filling the back side. Full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. Full breath out. Feet still pointed straight ahead. Slide your shoulders up to your ears and press them down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Hug your legs towards each other just a little bit so that you can feel your feet on the floor from your heel to your toes. And then take it into a big shoulder roll, up and forward and around. And circling backwards. We have a new visitor today. And forward again, up and forward and around. Again, the action of squeezing the shoulder blades together or retracting the shoulder blades, elevating the shoulder blades up, and then bringing them all the way around. Strong elbows. And then backwards once again, keeping tension in your belly, tension in your glutes. And then take it right into your elbow curl. Fold your fingers so that your fingers touch your palm. The palm is open and you're in that golfer's grip. Then bring your hands right to your temples, thumbs pointed down toward your shoulders, elbows all the way together so they touch, and all the way back, 20 elbow curls, forward and back.
Shirts on.
And 20. Excellent. Arms out to the side, over to one side into a windmill, letting the top side of your rib cage lift toward the sky. Big full breath in. Exhale, over a little more.
Sure, son.
And up. And over. And up. Lift. Lift that rib cage up. Side body stays long. Inhale up. Exhale over. Take your feet wider. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Arms out to the side. Find your shoulder blades on your back again. Exhale over. Inhale, lift. Exhale over. And lift. Keep moving. Move with your breath. Bringing the tension all the way from your feet, up your legs, into your hips, and letting the stable base let the upper body move a little bit more. Then back in, feet right underneath your hips. Same thing, over and up. From there, right in to an arm circle. Same grip, golfer's grip. Fold the fingers to the palms, arms down to the side. From your feet, slight bend at your knees. 50% activation in your butt muscles. Tension in your belly. And then bring your arms up. Keep the balance between collarbones wide and shoulder blades squeezed. Circle forward, 40 circles. And then backwards, palms up, turn them over, elbows strong and straight, backwards 40 circles. Ten more. And release. Good, moving right into some balance, arms out to the side again. Feel both of your shoulder blades onto your back. Have some tension in your belly. Stand on your left leg and lift your right leg out to the side 10 times. Nothing else gets to move. Pelvis stays stable, spine stays stable, shoulders stay stable. Everything except this lateral hip gets to pull that leg out to the side. And then switch. 10 lifts left leg. And back to the first side again, standing and balancing, lift and lower. Feeling all those foot muscles on your standing leg working. See if you can get in touch with the muscles that surround your whole leg and turn all of them on to stabilize. The outside and the inside, the front of the shin and the back of the shin. Switch. Place your foot down so that it's straight. Second side, second time. And release. Now, bring that leg up in front of you, and then just keep everything still and move the leg out to the side. We're just gonna do half of this today. Then I want you to rotate the ankle high, trying to keep the leg as high as you can, but you may need to drop the knee to get the ankle to lift, and then undo that rotation and bring the leg back in front of you. So wide, then rotate, ankle comes high, internal rotation of the femur, then lift it back up, pull it back to center. Out, internal rotation of the leg bone, lift, back in. 3 more. Both hips should be working. And switch. Second side, lift it up, about 6 of these. Out, hold it stable. Notice if your body wants to go with it. Stabilize with this back glute so it doesn't go anywhere. Internally rotate that leg, pull it back up, pull it in. Out, rotate, knee up and in. Again, stabilizing everything. I can see I'm moving more than I should here. Two more. And release. Now, right into a hamstring curl. Still balancing, pelvis straight, hips straight. You're gonna lift your leg behind you, up and down. As you do that, the tendency for your back to want to arch is there. So pull your low belly up and in so that you can keep that really stable as you hamstring curl the leg up and down. And then switch sides. Stabilize, lift and lower. Feeling the back side of your leg turn on, doing the exact action of the hamstring. Hamstring flexes the knee and extends the hip. So just reminding those muscles of their job while we're working on this single leg stance. If you think about the forces on your body when you weight your body on one side more than the other, or what might be happening differently when you're standing on one side, maybe you stand with one foot everted. When you stand on one side more, especially if you're holding something heavy, that really changes the vectors or forces on how things are wearing in your body. So come back to both feet down on the floor, up onto your toes, and back down. 3 position toe raises. Lift and lower 10 times. And then turn your feet out. Find your butt muscles, legs straight, 10 times lifting. And then toes in and lift. And release. Have a seat. On your chair and grab your block or something to squeeze. Place that between your knees. Put a bit of an arch in your low back. So feel what's happening on your sit bones. Bit of an arch in your low back. And then squeeze and release the pillow or block with the muscles on the inside of your legs. Squeeze, release. For those of us that have a tiny bit of a leg length discrepancy, that can make a tendency for one side of the hip or the other to rotate forward or backwards. And this sitting exercise can help root the femur into the hip socket and just get the adductors, the inside leg muscles that help hold that femur bone straight to activate. Squeeze, release. It may then also help your psoas release a little bit or something to change in your pelvis so your pelvis can align a little bit better. Squeeze, release. About 10 more. Now squeeze and hold on to that and just grab each elbow and pull it up over your head in a square. Then make sure your rib cage, front rib cage stays down. Bring the breath more into the back of your body. Big full breath. Keeping that little arch in your low back with a gentle rounding in your upper back. So the tendency here, as your arms come up, especially if you're tightening your pecs or your lats, is to let that have a big arch. And right now I want you to keep that arch in the low back, but some rounding in the upper back. And then just reach toward the sky. Just breathe and allow that to open. Bring your arms down. Switch your elbow grasp and then pull it up again. Letting the shoulders lift toward your ears for now. Squeezing at your knee so the pelvis is really stable. And then just hold and breathe. Fully out. Squeezing the air out. Fully in. Check your neck and head position and make sure it's over your shoulders. And release. And then keeping your knees stable, come into a twist. Sitting really tall, opening up the upper back, twisting through the low back. You can grab an arm of the chair if you have one, or just place your hand on your knee. Sitting chair twist. Big full breaths. Exhale completely. Let your abdominals squeeze. The muscles of the obliques, right now one side has to lengthen, one side has to help you twist, as well as the muscles in your back, like your multifidus. It's a rotator of the spine. Switch sides, coming around to the other, big twist. Deep breath in, fully out, squeeze. In, out, tighten it. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. One more. And back to center. Come down onto your hands and knees, cats and dogs. See if I can bring this. Round and arch your back. Move in whatever way you like today. Just keep the movement happening. One vertebra at a time or more. Feel if you can keep your shoulders where they are and move your spine a bit. And then add the shoulders going up and down. Just notice the difference between those two actions. Really let your head come up. Again, just working against time that may be spent looking down at a phone or forward at a computer. Find those neck extensors, those neck muscles that lift up. And then take your knees wide and just press back as long as your knees are okay to do it toward child's pose. Find length in your spine, bringing your arms forward, letting it pull on the side muscles of your body. Again, bring the breath into the back side of your ribs, all the way down to your low back. And then forward onto your hands and knees and come right into a hand leg opposite lift. So lifting that leg up, reaching the arm out. If you're unstable, just do legs. Hold it out there. Breathe. Switching sides, moving right into these spinal stabilizations. Hold. And switch. Reach it out. Hold. And switch. Low belly pulling up and in, front ribs tucking under. If you want a little more glute, you can take that leg up into a square. Glute and hamstring activation a little more. Couple more of these. And then back to cats and dogs again, round and arch once more. Just really get the spine mobile and working today. And then make your low back get still and just thread your shoulder blades. So belly tight, just lift the shoulder blades off your back and then squeeze them together. Just retract and protract in the arms. Excellent. Now press into that middle place and press up into your downward facing dog pose. Let one heel release and then the other. Working into your legs. And then walk your feet to your hands. Come back to standing. And grab your ball. Start with, see if I can balance all of this. Start with your ball at your heel and just press your heel around where that ball is. So you're working all of the inside edge of the heel, outside edge of the heel. And then bring it into the middle of your foot. And then roll the middle of your foot. And then let the ball spread the bones of your foot at the kind of ball of the foot. And do a couple, like wrap your toes around it and then lift and spread your toes. And then switch sides. Do your heel. And the ball of your foot, or the bones of your foot, arch of your foot. We know that probably people are wearing shoes less, maybe people are wearing shoes less, but when we weaken the intrinsic foot muscles, that they then have a hard time holding up the arch or spreading the toes, and that's where the nerves need to go to have access all the way to your toes. So just, you can roll it laterally across and just spread those bones out a little bit. And then go to the toes and the ball of the foot and wrap the toes around and lift them up. Just reset any bones in your feet that might be a little out of place. Reactivate the muscles, those deep muscles in your feet. And roll back and forth through the whole thing. And then have a seat. Place both legs out on the floor. And drop knees to one side and then bring them up, and then knees to the other side. And bring them up. Just get those rotators in your hips to work a little bit. That should be work for your belly. If you need to put your hands behind you, that's fine. But roll your legs. Just discover some places that might be tight or move differently on one side than the other. And then take your ball and place it underneath your leg so that it's between the outer bone and the calf muscle, or between the shin bone and the calf muscle. See if I can move back a little bit. And then just give it some weight so you can lean on it. And just move from the ankle up toward the knee. Just love on your leg a little bit. When we do too much sitting, the lymph can get a little bit stuck, and the valves that help the lymph system move that fluid can just get a little stagnant, so maybe there's swelling that happens in the lower legs. We just want to wake it up so you can roll it back and forth across your leg like that. And just think of pushing that fluid from the ankle toward your heart, helping it to move a little bit. And then you can set that leg out and come to the top side of your leg, and I'm gonna just use my hand to help roll it, but you could just push it again in that space between the bone and the muscle, and just work that space there. And you might find places up by your knee that are a little more tender. There's more trigger points in that area, or down by the ankle. But anywhere along that line, you might find spots. And then switch sides. Again, back to the underside of the other leg. And starting toward the ankle. Just give it some pressure. And you can either lift and move the ball or roll the ball. And just work, again, that fluid. Give it the message that any stagnant fluid from the foot or the ankle can just move back toward your heart to be replenished, revitalized, reoxygenated. And then do that top side of the leg. And I'm just rolling it with my hand, again, encouraging it to move from the base up toward my heart. This is a great area for dry brushing before you get in the shower too, to just move that fluid, that lymph. The lymph system, the lymphatic system is the only way that your body can really clear swelling and move fluid that in places that might be swollen with muscle activation and compression, but it ultimately has to move up through those little valves. Okay, into the IT band. So I'm taking the ball and I'm gonna go from the knee up the side of the leg now. And you could extend your leg out or just however it is, see if we can see it. Load into that side, again, between kind of where the muscle and the bone is, but this time we're going up to the upper part of the leg. And move it in chunks up toward your hip. And you can see I'm just like taking my weight off of it and then kind of rolling onto it a little bit so that there's just more weight, more leverage on that, up to the point where I can't weight it anymore because it's painful. And then do the inside or top of that adductor, and again, I'm just gonna roll it or just use that ball to press pressure points into that upper inside leg. Awesome. And then when you're ready, switch to the other side and go into that IT band. The IT band goes from the butt muscle down to the outside of the knee. And it is a stabilizer of the knee. Because it connects to the butt, it has to do with being able to lift your leg out to the side. And it's a band of connective tissue that, for most of us, has some calcium deposits or some tension. Fine. And then inside leg. From the knee up and just, again, weight it. And just roll, moving again the blood and fluid from the knee toward the hip so that it's moving back up toward the heart. And on the inside leg, you have lots of lymph nodes that are on the inside of that leg. So you can get all the way up into those areas in the crease of your leg. Awesome. Okay, shifting into butt muscles. So I'm gonna go onto my back and I'm gonna stick that ball right onto the butt and then use my legs to weight it over so that it can move, and I'm gonna hold it with the other hand and just each time my legs go over, take a breath, then bring them back up, and just put weight in different parts of that glute. All that space between where the big outer hip bone is and the sacrum, all of that is tender tissue that feels good to have worked on and moved. As you get up higher, you're getting into that piriformis. That's a muscle that lots of people have tension in. That tiny little muscle in the back of your body has to oppose that huge psoas muscle, that big hip flexor. And sometimes it's just holding on for dear life. So be gentle as you move in there. And then switch to the other side. Placing that ball right at the glute, and then just allow your legs to roll to that side as you increase the pressure to whatever feels good for you. Keep moving it around, finding new spots. They may be different on one side than the other. You may have more tension on one side than the other. Awesome. And now move that ball up into the middle back area, right at the bottom rib. I'm going to do it on the left side first, and then just let your body roll onto that. That's right into a place that can have a lot of tension. Keep your front ribs kind of tucked and just breathe into that space. Now you could roll on the ball by just rolling down so that that ball stays in between the shoulder blade and the spine, or you can roll off of it and roll back on just like you were doing with your legs, going sideways, letting more and more tension move into that, more and more pressure move into that space until you find a trigger point. And if you find a spot that feels pretty intense, stay there and breathe for a moment. So I'm beginning to move from my lower ribs up my back. I invite you to do the same. And once you get toward the shoulder blade, you can just move your arm around. And that'll find new spots for sure also. I've said this in class before, but I often feel that doing the exercises is like brushing your teeth, and adding instruments like this is like adding the flossing. Sometimes you have no idea that something was so tense until you work on it or somebody else works on it. Good, keep it going slowly up till you're approaching your neck on that left side. Finding this space right between the base of the shoulder blade and where the shoulder blade and neck start to come together. And then you decide how much tension you can handle for your neck or how much pressure. You may just want to roll it with your hand again if you have a lot of tightness there. And depending on the size of the ball, eventually bring it up to the base of your neck. And then again, decide the amount of pressure. If you can handle a chunk of pressure, you can lift your hips off the floor, and that will just load a lot of weight down onto that ball at the base of your neck on the left side. And then go ahead and switch sides. So again, bringing the ball to the low ribs, between the spine and the ribs, but starting about where your rib cage starts on your back. And just put the ball behind you and roll your knees over to give more weight. Just give more tension, and then start to gently move up the spine. Getting into the places between the ribs. Your ribs have cartilage between them and muscles between them, intercostals, that help to open and close them up. And you can work in there to just create some separation, some space. There's layers and layers of muscles that run the length of your spine that are all extensors for different part of your spine. They help you go into that back bend. And so just working them out a little bit. Keep going, approaching the space between your shoulder blade and your spine. And again, you can just lift the ball out and move it, or you can start to roll on it a little bit, or roll sideways and put more weight onto it as you roll back onto it. All ways to just add more pressure till you feel some spots. Maybe you're feeling pressure all the way out into your arm. My kids were playing a game yesterday called house ball, throwing a tennis ball over the house and having somebody get it on the other side. So I became the pitcher for that. It's farther than I've thrown a ball in a while, over and over again, up and over my house. I'm definitely feeling it in that shoulder. Okay, approaching up to where your shoulder and the base of your neck are. And then somehow run the ball up the side of your neck. Spend some time in there, because that's where the trap and the subscapularis and some of those muscles that can definitely hold some trigger points along from the outer shoulder up the side of your neck to the base of the occiput. And again, just putting the ball at the base of your head may be enough. If you want more tension, just lift your hips a little bit, and that will just sink pressure right into that space. And then when you're ready, release out of that and come back to cats and dogs, and just integrate that work into your body again. And then come down onto your belly. We're gonna open your chest one more spot really well today. On your belly, arms out to the side, and then lift your left leg up to the sky. Turn it over, stable in your low back, but let it pull open so that your right arm, right front shoulder is really being pulled on. Just hang out there and breathe. If your front pec is tight,
This will help open that. If your bicep is tight, this will help create length there also. Let's own that action before the other side. So tension in your belly, come out of it, hold the whole body stable, roll out and back into it, like into a scorpion twist, opening that front shoulder, breathe, move back to neutral, and then open it up. It also can help open up a lung. And sometimes a little bit of scoliosis in your back can change how one of your lungs is able to fill. So opening the shoulder can unlock some of that place. So if you feel the need to cough, that would be very common, as that changes what's happening there. Switch sides. Right leg lifting, left arm out to the side. Turn back, opening that shoulder, find your breath. Untwist. Open it back up. Own that action. And one more integration, cats and dogs. Really get stable in your hands, keep your elbows straight up and down, slight tuck at your tailbone, pull the low belly up and in, keep your elbows straight above your wrists and lower down. You can move your elbows slightly out to the side, that would be okay, and press 10 of those kind of beginning chaturanga push-ups. So down and press back up. Keeping, again, slight tuck at your tailbone. And then down and hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press it back up. Put your elbows where your hands just were and push up into a downward dog on your elbows. Use that to open up your back a little bit more. Knees can stay bent or legs can go straight. Keep breathing a little bit longer. And come on down. Come on to your back. One hand, right hand down on the floor, hips off the floor, big lift. Open up that shoulder that we just used and open, turning those muscles back on, all the way from the bottom of your feet, up the back of your body, into the back of your shoulder, into your hips. Lift it up there. Big breath. And down. Lift. And lower. Move with your own breath. One more each side.
And then come down onto your back, into your static back, into your legs up over the chair or all the way into your Shavasana, straight legs, and set your body purposefully on the floor, shoulders tucking underneath you. Maybe do a few femur rotations, moving your legs in and out to the side. I just want to say how incredible it is that it's been 5 weeks, and I'm so grateful that you all are showing up for me and for each other to stay with this practice of working on your body and supporting each other through this time. It's so awesome. Tune to your breathing. Feel the sensations of what it means to have your breath move in and out of your body. Notice the temperature of your breath. Notice where it moves. Feel the air around you. Listen to the sounds. These are the things that allow you to connect with the present moment. Begin to have the awareness of being the witness. I'm going to just make a quick offering, and then I want us to take 2 minutes of silence to send that out to the world. May we be safe and protected. May we be happy and free. May we be healthy and strong. And may we live with ease. Begin to be more conscious of your body again. You always have the invitation to just stay and go deeper as some of us come out of this. I want everybody to take their arms and wrap them around themselves and feel a really big hug from me coming from the computer to you. I love you. Have an awesome day.
Oh, Tyra, that was
Tyra.
great.
Thanks, Carol.
Oh, we can do that all day.
Tyra, I know.
Did that feel all right for people?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, felt great.
Yeah, it's felt great.
Good.
There were some good source thoughts.
That was
Wonderful. Was that the bulb?
My